Awesome. We've got some messages in the chat already. We've got Australiana here and MJG here. Awesome. How you going, Australiana? How you going, MJG? MJG says, hi, Luke, Kyle. I'll just go through the Australiana's chat because she's put some messages in there before. She says, hi, Luke and everyone. Today, a contribution by way of lyrics. It's called The Therapist Is Me. So this is a song. You can sell your problems to me. You can pay me for my ear. You can sit here for an hour and talk about your fears. Do you somehow lose direction? Did you really drop your game? Are you gonna let these memories make you go insane? The problem that you're selling about the one that got away, about the ones who didn't help, grows in value every day. We're all just little grown-ups. We are always asking why. The answer's flowing in like waves, and you never want to die. That's a beautiful song. You'll have to put that to music, Australiana. And so she couldn't join today, but she left that in the pre-chat, which was a really nice discovery to start the stream and see that, you know. So I like having everything centered, but it's not centered today. I don't know what happened. Maybe my chair moved. But yeah, Australiana says sorry not to join you, and so she'll make it to the next one, I hope. And that's a beautiful song. I'm going to write that down, and I'm just going to write it down now, just in case. Sometimes the pre-chat doesn't stay with the stream afterwards. So I'll read this song out again as I write it down. Can you sell your problems to me? No, you can sell your problems to me. You can pay me for my ear. We can sit here for an hour and talk about your fears. Did you somehow lose direction? Did you really drop your game? Are you going to let these memories make you go insane? The problem that you're selling about the one that got away, about the ones who didn't help, grows in value every day. We are all just little grown-ups. We're always asking why. The answers flowing in like waves. And you never want to die. It is. MJG says amazing lyric. It is. I just wrote it down because I thought it could disappear from the chat, because pre-stream messages don't appear later. So thanks for bearing with me to write that down. I mean, I could have gone back through and watched the video, obviously. I just thought to do it. Really powerful lyrics, you know. It talks about holding on to pain. You know, the more you hold on to pain, the more it grows. The more you focus on things, the more attention you give something, the more it becomes. It gives it power. It feeds it. You know. That doesn't apply always, but in a lot of cases, that's certainly a big thing. When there's external forces, that's a different story, because you're confronted with, you know, like when it's raining and it's heavy rain, you know, and the place is flooding, you know, you're confronted with it. You can't, and then you focus on the. So what do? You work out as quick as you can, get things up off the floor, save items that are going to get destroyed, go out and work out where the water's coming in, and try and divert the water if you can. When the water comes into the house, you try and collect it in buckets, you try and mop it up, you try and do everything you can But if you're focusing your energy on, if there's, a flood that's going to come, then you don't do anything about it, because you're too busy focusing on it. It just gets worse and worse, and then the flood comes, and then you don't, you get caught in that. And but it's a really interesting song. It's like written from a therapist's perspective. It's saying the right things. You know, you know. Did you somehow lose your direction? Because that's one of the worst things when you have a goal and direction and a purpose. Purpose and intention, and then that gets lost. Then everything stops. So when you lose your direction, it's good to stop. Don't go any further, because you can get more lost. And try and work out where you are, and then once you've worked out roughly where you are, then you can work out a way of finding your way home. And then the next bit's like the problem that you're selling is about the problems. The problem that you're selling, about the one that got away, about the ones that didn't help you, grows in value every day. And that's like what I was talking about again. It's feeding energy into something, putting your energy towards, and it's difficult. It's not easy to actually break that cycle, you know. And forgiveness doesn't always help. It can help sometimes, but it doesn't always help. And letting go. You might thought you've let go of something, but then it comes back again. So all that work that you've put into trying to let go of something. So yeah, shifting your focus from being stuck in that place where you can't think about anything else. It's not easy, because trauma keeps bringing you back. And but the longer you get stuck in it, the harder it's going to be to actually escape that. We're all just little grown-ups. We're always asking why. The answer's flowing in like waves, and you never want to die. It's a very powerful last verse to it. And in a lot of ways, it's like that. Like um, especially if trauma's prevented you from going through becoming an adult in a proper way. People not thinking you're responsible or capable. You harbor these things that people treat you like you're a child still. And but then you see other people as well, and in their behaviors and their thoughts, that they haven't grown up themselves, you know. So even though we're adults and we've had jobs and, you know, worked, studied, had relationships, maybe even started families, and you'd think they'd be an adult, but you know, it's still us doing the same thing, asking why about everything, and the answers flowing in like waves. So just it's really powerful. You know, the answers are there, and they you never want to die. So it's like fear of everything. I don't know. It's my that last verse is very powerful. So thank you, Australiana, for that beautiful song. Very powerful song. I think I think it says a lot for being stoic and being able to move past things, and it also it's about the difference between being stuck, from my perspective, being stuck in um, that constant loop of pain and breaking out of that. Because if you don't break out of it and you keep focusing on the pain, then it's actually just going to make it more powerful, and really really awesome. So I'm just thinking, you know, like it has such gives you a lot to think about, really, doesn't it? Hey, Shaw's here. How you going? Are you sure? Awesome to see you here. Hey, Shaw says hi, Luke, everyone. Hi, everyone. The MJG says there's so much in it. Absolutely, it's a beautiful. Very deep song. MJG says, "Hi, are you?" with the heart. Um, I like how it sort of starts with it's like a therapist talking, and then um, it sort of like becomes like, your higher self talking, or your subconscious talking to you, and then like a universal consciousness rationalizing the situation and then bringing it back. Yeah, it's very powerful. So hopefully Australiana puts that to music, that would be awesome. I'd like to hear that. It could be a project for the year. That's what the talk is tonight, is, you know, motivating for the year, like, the goals that I've talked about that I want to achieve for the year, and then rationalizing them, and then working out what to do next. So I'm a bit lost at the moment, like in the poem, in the song. I've lost direction. So, but I know what I want to achieve. So it's like, what next? So it can be overwhelming, you know. So, and I've talked about this in the last few streams, where it's um, focus on, create priorities first, and then as I can work on those bigger goals, and that's how I'm going to achieve all the things I want to achieve this year. And even if I don't achieve half of them, I'll still be happy. So that's a big thing, is being humble about what I can achieve. But still, there's nothing wrong with having a lot of goals. Understand, as long as you understand you're not going to achieve them all. I think that can be a thing. You can have too little goals, and you can have too many. So there's a good amount, and that you can prioritize. Um, and if you don't have many goals, that's fine. But when you write them down on paper, when you write down the things that you need to do to heal and to get your fitness and your health and everything to where you want it, it's rarely going to be just a few things. There's going to be a lot there, you know. A Shaw says, "Hi, MJG with the stars." Yeah, very powerful. Thank you so much, Australiana, for sharing that song, and that I hope you put it to music for us, and share it. I've had a lot of people say how amazing that song is that you shared. So um, I I watched back a bit of the last stream, and I was like, I've had real bad sleep lately, and I was watching back the stream, and I was just talking. Yeah, no, yeah, yeah, I was just I couldn't speak properly, and it just goes to show what it's like at the moment for me with sleep, and um, yeah, it'll get better. I'm just so grateful that you know we get to catch up a couple times a week and um, share each other's company and um, inspire each other to keep doing things. So yeah, motivating for the year is it's often people when you start a new year, it's like a a place where you think about what you want to do for the year, and that can be a trap because you should always be um, going through your priorities and your list of things that you want to be doing. You shouldn't have to wait till January to plan out your year. Because your year is always continually growing. You know, it's always going to be every day is another day. So it's a good way to approach it, but at the same time, you know, because it is the start of something, then it gives you a reason to, you know, start something fresh, think about what you're wanting to be doing, and work towards it. There's, with, people make, New Year's resolutions and things, and then they say, oh, people find it hard to stick to these resolutions that they make. Well, make it continual. Just um, have your list of things that you want to do, and keep adding to it, and you know crossing things off or ticking them off as you do them, and add, just make it more dynamic, so it's not just like, but saying that, I took the opportunity because it's the start of the year, and but most of the things on my list were things that I was already working on. So it's just carrying it over from what I was already planning. So it was just reaffirming my dedication to wanting to achieve these things. So Crusoe's here. How you going, Crusoe? Haven't seen you in the chat for ages. Happy New Year. Crusoe says righteous. That's it. It is. Ben Hammond Bells is here as well. Hammond Bell says, "Have you ever seeked therapy in your life before in your life, or is it the first time?" Yeah, I've not not specifically trauma. Like I have actually specifically seeked therapy for trauma, and um, essentially for every time I've seen psychologists and had sessions with them, and I've had two successful lots of sessions and two non-successful sessions where I was re-traumatized and um, it had a negative effect. So it was like, paying to get therapy and then it having this negative effect on my life and making things worse. And that was very damaging and it scared me off that whole concept of like actual therapies. And then that's when I started reading. It wasn't until after my life fell apart, um, and then I had to, you know, gather myself again to um, keep going, And then the I did lots of research, reading a bunch of books, and I've got lots more books to read. So I'm sort of educating myself, not just in I'm educating myself in how to heal and what to do to make your life better so that it heals itself. Like um, nourishing things, like nature therapy and exercise and diet and um, healing your nervous system, through many different methods, and like things like psychotherapy to me can go for years and years and go nowhere, and it's all very costly. It's all very expensive. I don't have the money for any of this, and so I have to learn how to do it, most of it on my own, and it's sad when you read the books about trauma healing and the people that have great results do specific therapies that are very expensive, like cost $5,000 to $20,000 just for one therapy, and it may not work. So, but then, in the books they talk about the success, like where it does work for people, and so that gives hope that you know different therapies will have dramatic, amazing results for different people. Um, so for me, it's reframing is where I want to work on that. Not like schema therapy where like you actually that's expensive. So my thing will be to sort of write everything down, and but also write down. Um, obviously, the way I'd do it would be to change every name and location. So that's a form of reframing. So you're distancing yourself from the actual place and the time and the people, but everything else is exactly the same. And then, so that's the start of it. And then um, you're processing the trauma by um, putting it down on paper and then you then reflect on it, and then you change the way while you're reflecting on it. You also write down all the things that you've learned. So unfortunately, I've had to learn everything the hard way. I've had to be um, taken advantage of, and um, worse. And um, the worst thing is that the trauma created um, like a personality type coping mechanism, which then resulted in further trauma. So that's painful in itself. So at least now I'm resolving these things, and I'm becoming stronger and more reserved in myself, so that these things won't happen again. But I mean, even just I'm still learning lessons. So for me, the therapy is really educating myself about the psychology of um, healing, and or the psychology of the damage that the trauma creates in someone, and then their the way it shapes their personality. So my thing is to grow as a person, and to basically stop these things from happening again. You know, and that's where, like I was saying, is the biggest re-traumatizing aspect, is that um, manipulation, coercion, deceit, betrayal. Um, these things, um, and like my tendency to um, go into the fawn response and be a people pleaser and have these codependency sort of traits that um, I've just got to overcome these, so that you know I have to actually just understand them first. And you can't you if you go and do therapy sessions, then they're not going to teach you this stuff. You have to learn it, and do the research, and then practice it. So that's my big goal for this year, is to you know essentially cast off these tendencies where I will allow myself to get stuck in these situations where I'm not standing up for myself, or I'm not saying no, or I'm not creating healthy boundaries, you know. And so when if you know, and because it's very complicated, you if you create boundaries, you need to protect them, and you need to stand firm, because as soon as you create these boundaries, um, people are going to keep pushing them over, and finding a way past them. And that can be traumatizing, because you put all this effort into standing your ground, and then people just walk all over you again. So that's a big thing, is keep learning, and then look at keep doing consciously looking at my behavior, and fixing it so that it, you know, because I can't let this stuff happen again where it just hurts too much, and I've lost too much of my life being stuck in this, being a pushover, letting people walk all over me and um, take advantage. So it's very difficult, you know. So there are people that will instead of like necessarily psychologists that will be more like life coaches that will help you with that stuff. And for me, it's reading the books, and then getting that understanding, and then applying it, and then continually reviewing. So if I get stuck in that situation again, I go, how did that happen? Change your behavior for next time and work on it. And it's such a difficult thing because like generally, like I will naturally get stuck in that situation by wanting to help people and wanting to be a happy, friendly person, and it then leads to that, you know, to that situation where I'm taken advantage of, and that then compounds earlier traumas that are unresolved. That all come from that, having that response to the trauma being my people pleasing. So I don't want to change. I don't want to stop being. I don't want to stop helping people. I don't want to stop being friendly. But I need to have firm, solid boundaries that I protect, and I know when to then walk away from a situation, or um, make it clear that my boundaries are being crossed, rather than just let people walk all over it. So, and this is something I think everyone should, you know, be doing in their life, because it will give you it gives you that opportunity to then still, be there and help people and be friendly, um, and that's still authentic, but like you're not getting stuck in this situation where you're giving too much or people are then taking advantage. So, I mean, this is specific to me, but I think everyone can benefit from that, and it's not like the world. If everyone in the world did that, I think there would be more compassion and more people helping each other, because they would have the time to do that, and they would actually um, identify when things are needed, and they wouldn't be stuck wasting their time trying to please people that are just doing it for sport or to take something from you. So, you have all this free energy and time then to actually help people who uh, authentically deserve receiving that help and attention. But it's difficult because any major change to your behaviors, you've got to work on it, and whenever you change your behaviors, um, it creates friction to people who are used to you behaving a certain way. So if you're used to being a yes person that says yes to everything, and then to your own detriment, you know, you end up wearing yourself out and giving all your money away or doing everything, for other people and not for yourself. And then um, as soon as you say no, it's a shock to everyone around you. So like you got to be prepared for any change in your behaviors to be um, not necessarily received in a good way. I mean, there's cases where um, people who are alcoholic get clean and stop drinking alcohol, and then people around them don't like them anymore because for some reason they were more happy that they were alcoholic and it was easier for them to deal with. Now this person's like improving their life and living good and feeling happy, and for some reason it creates a problem for people, and it's I can't understand why. Like you'd think everyone would be happy for that, but there are these things with human behavior that we try to understand why people act like that, and you just like just accepting them. And the thing is, you apply it to yourself too, you know. So this is where self-sabotage is very much the internal version of that same thing, where as soon as you start to improve and things are working great, then suddenly um, you can't face the fact that things are going to be good because things have always been uh, difficult and uneasy, and so you know it then reverts back to going back to where you were at, and all that progress that you've made is you go backwards again. So it's not just other people. It's and if you do focus on yourself and then keep thinking about yourself in relation to others, so but that's a really good question, Evan Bells. Um, I'm very much limited for money. It'd be great to do these expensive therapy sessions, but I think I'll be better off too, like really doing all the research and then you know doing the shadow work, doing the going through the dark night of the soul and emerging on the other side and being new again. So Crusoe says happy Chinese New Year. Yeah, that's it. That was a few days ago, wasn't it? Or just the other day? Or when is it? Even today? I don't know. I used to go watch the dragon dances and stuff. That used to be cool. Yeah, Kat says hi all. Awesome to see you here, Kat. With the waves. Are you sure says once I began to see there are whys to my codependency. Yeah, that's a really good comment. Are you sure? Um, and that's it. So it takes all that work in learning about what it is. For me, actually, codependency is one of the main topics that I'm focusing on for this year, along with all these other healing things. Like diet, exercise, mindfulness. Um, keeping busy, but also having rest time. With my anxiety, exposure therapy, like forcing myself to re-engage with people, you know, you know, in person. Very difficult. It's been now, um, you know, yeah, essentially since October last year. Not last year, the year before that. So, um, 14 months where virtually only I've barely left the house, only gone to shops as quick as I can, get out, go in, buy the food or whatever, and then leave. Not really having much contact with people in my, you know, I've had some, and I've had people reaching out and try to keep me engaged, and um, but I haven't been able to, you know, do much. So that will be a big thing this year, and I'm thinking about maybe starting a sunset watches um, club, and that will be a way. So because I looked at all the social groups and that, and it's like I can't manage it. So if I start a sunset watches club, at least they're going to have something of interest that I'm interested in, and people. I can say just everyone be respectful, and it'll be very simple. So there won't be any politics. We just go and watch the sunset and then get in our cars and go home again. And we might meet once every week or once every couple of weeks or something. But at least we'll have a bit of a conversation, couple of minutes, 5 or 10 minutes of chatting and stuff, and then we watch the sunset, and then we'll see how that goes. It'll be an interesting thing. I think it'd attract the right people. And so, but yeah, going back to what Shaw said was yeah, once I began to see there are whys to my codependency, that's it. So it really opens up once you do, and that comes from learning about it all, and then you think about how you react and how you act around others, and and then you also look at traumatic events and how that shaped it, and then you just like, yeah, that makes so much sense now I understand. And until you actually understand why and see the why, Harmony Seeker says hi all. Awesome. Awesome you're here, Harmony Seeker. um it's awesome. Again, like I've had lots of people say how beautiful your voice is and your singing and stuff, so it's awesome. I can't wait for like this year again. This year, that I'm sure you're going to have many more recordings of songs, and maybe learn some new songs as well. I don't know what you got planned for the year, but it's awesome. Kat says, I love. Kat says, love the idea of the Sunset Group. Awesome. Totally. That's awesome. So like you could even do that where you are as well. Like we could have like um I'll just set up the one in my city, and you can still go and watch the sunset where you are, and we can have I'll set up a Instagram page or a Facebook page or something, and we can share photos of the sunset, or little sound recordings of the birds, because sunset's always special for the birds and the insects and stuff. But yeah, how good would that be? Like I'll say like You know, you're welcome to bring a bottle of wine or something, but you know, alcohol's not necessarily what it's about. You know, so people understand that they're not going to be, you know, if they bring their chairs and their bottle of wine, that's all right. But just respect others that are there being sober. And you know, I don't want to have too many sort of rules or anything. But like we have like we meet, we say hello. We all say hello to each other, and you know, maybe we talk a bit about nature and the weather because you know it's it's all related. And then um, we set up the chairs or go to walk to the spot where it's good to watch the sunset, and we watch the sunset. And, um, yeah, because I've been learning to do guided meditations, I could actually do that as well. So I could, as the sun's setting, I could make that a. I could talk, but I could also be silent. Um, you know, and I'll sort of yeah. I think it will be awesome, Cat. You know, like and everyone. You know, like I think it will work. That we just do. You know, there's you know there's like Facebook pages that are like sunsets. You know, where sunsets and sunrises, and people would post all their photos and stuff, and it's pretty cool. You know, um, so that could be a part of it. You know, people bring their cameras along and they set up their cameras on a tripod or something like that, and they take photos and maybe video or something. So if people are doing video, everyone be quiet. So um, yeah, it could really be something interesting. And like I was saying, it's got to be simple. It can't be too complicated. And you know, um, especially people with high anxiety, like you know, giving them a space to be part of a group where we don't really speak much. You know, we just say hello and have a maybe a brief conversation, and then we just enjoy each other's company. You know, and enjoy nature. We don't have to say much. You know. Harmony Seeker says thanks. I had one of the worksheets I had for a while. I can't see plans for myself. Yeah, well, hopefully, um, hopefully the plans start happening though, because you like making plans, and that you've got a lot of potential, and you've got I can see you're very creative, and um, you know I find that with music where I think oh what am I going to do, and then I've got like I was started singing this song the other day in my head, and I started singing a little bit out loud, and I've been meaning to learn how to play it on guitar. And so that's something I'll do is to learn how to play this song, and that'll be cool. Like that'll be a project. And there's a few songs. I've got a list of songs that I've been meaning to learn how to play, and just so as soon as I get back playing guitar, I've got a whole list of songs that I've got to play. I've got to learn, and it's been so long now since even just 12, 14 months. Um, yeah, you got to relearn the songs that you used to play again anyway. If once you start, if you have a break for that long. So, but yeah, I'm excited to hear the next music that you create, Harmony Seeker, and everyone in like does something creative here, which is great. It's amazing, and I got a lot of hope for this year that we all achieve, you know, creating things and making things, doing things, and that's a big healing thing. And when you make things or create things or learn new skills, like you can look back and go, yeah, well, I was going through a really difficult time then, but look at what I learned how to do. So it gives you something really good to look back at and go, it doesn't matter what was going on, I still managed this. So my biggest barriers at the moment is well, not so much barriers. They're what I've got to go through in the next month or 2 months is just getting my sleep patterns regular, getting through this difficult stage of nightmares, and I wouldn't call it insomnia. I'm getting 3 to 6 hours of sleep a day, so but that's not enough. You should be averaging 6 hours. I used to live on 4 hours sleep a night for years, and it catches up. Um, I am excited for like starting to like. I've got this business that I'm working on for the mindfulness. Take people bushwalking and do mindfulness. I've got to build a website. I've got so much work to do, but I can't do any of it at the moment. That's the biggest problem. I'm just stuck in this limbo at the moment. Just when I think I thought last week I was going to get all this stuff happening. No, had another sort of crisis drama type thing go on, and I was like in shock for a few days. But I'm getting through that now, and I'm sort of it hasn't slowed it slowed me down for a few weeks or a week or two. You know. Evan Bell says, Harmony Seeker, do you have someone to talk to about your week? Yeah, that's it. That's a good question. And that's like, it really is good having support. Like when I was um, in my caring role, I had a carers coach, and every few weeks, like it would sort of vary depending on how often we only had so many sessions available. So yeah, it was really powerful, and we got to work through everything, and I learned a lot, and it was so amazing to actually have someone to actually be there and work through what it is you're dealing with and what you're going through. It's such a powerful thing. So I would say what's what I'm what problems I've got at the moment or what things I want to work on, and then we would talk about them, and she would offer solutions and advice as to what what I could learn about through it, and um, and then I would work through these things, and then next time I spoke to her, like, we would talk about what happened, and it would be this great thing when I could say, "Oh, it was awesome! Like, I I I did what I was going to try and do, and it worked out, and everything worked out, and it was such a great thing." And then at the end of the sessions, we went through um, all the things that I'd been trying to achieve the whole time, and how and almost all of the things on the list I'd actually managed to resolve and fix and become stronger and grow from. Omni Seekers says, because Emma Bell says, "Do you have someone to talk to about your week?" Yeah. Emma Bell says, "I saw my therapist sorry, Harmony Seeker says, saw my therapist yesterday. Could barely get my words out, and that was a tough session." She continues, "It's like the estrangement. I'm back to freeze state, back to spending my day just trying to stay regulated. It will pass eventually, but it's hell right now. Just being here is helping a little." I'm I'm really sorry to hear that that's what you're going through, some pretty extreme times at the moment, you know. And it's estrangement is a difficult thing, and there's a lot of emotions that um, go along with that, and um, being stuck in that free state is horrible. But um, you've got a good attitude that it's not going to last forever, and that you'll get back out of that, because you're a very productive person, and you achieve amazing things despite adversity. So, but you know when to stop and to rest. So it could be that you're being very conscious of your state, and you're just stepping back and slowing down and just resting for a while, and then you'll get back moving again. But yeah, it's it's great that this community is helping. It's I it helps me so much, and that it's helping others is amazing. And that's what even though I'm just the person here in front of the camera, it's really about everyone who's here in the chat, in the community. So um, yeah, it's really I like just having that connection and being able to talk, and I don't have that myself. Like, for anyone really to talk to, um, in person. Like, I do have some friends, but I can't just call them and speak to them. And having these chats, we have these conversations where I get the opportunity to be talking, and you all get the opportunity to talk as well. So it's I'm focused on keeping that as like a really special, powerful thing. Emin Bell says, I know this feeling damn well. If you can't barely talk, it's so much going on your head, but the mouth is, going on in your head, but the mouth just freezed. Yeah, that's totally it. Hey. Um, and you can identify when you're in that state. Like, it's usually like when you're confronted by having to communicate with other people, especially if it's about, your personal situation. That makes it even more difficult. um, it's very confronting, having the ability to comfortably speak about the difficulties you're going through. It means that, things are difficult, but they're not so difficult to the point where you just freeze up and you just can't even speak. It's the worst. Harmony Seeker says, exactly. My therapist said I didn't seem to like myself. Sorry. My therapist said I didn't seem like myself. Yeah. Um, I'm functioning when I need to, but resting the rest of the time. Yeah, I got that mixed up because I myself have the problem where I have negative self um, self-loathing or whatever, and at the same time, I try and get past that. People often will say that to me. What's the matter? Like, why do you always put yourself down? Why do you always tell yourself like you're useless and you're no good and all this stuff? Well, it's like I'm just repeating what was said to me over and over. So, so that's why I got that mixed up. So I have that predisposition for that. But yeah, you've got a very strong. Um, and a good therapist will notice when your things are off, when things are different, when you're not in a good place, and that they'll want to try and help you. But just keep resting, like you said, Harmony Seeker, and you know it will. It just needs a bit of time, and keep that positive focus towards like things that because you do have all these things you want to achieve, and you, there's new things that you'll come up with, and so they can wait. They can wait a few weeks and just let it pass, and then you'll get your strength back again. It makes it compounds. It gets even worse. Like if you're having troubles just speaking, and then you're being expected to talk, it just gets worse and worse. So in that situation, the best thing is to just say, I can't speak for a while. I need just some quiet time. Emin Bell says, I once screamed out, it's happening again. I feel like in my childhood. It's happening again. I tried to run away from this all my life. It was my fuel, but now I'm stuck. That's really that's really a powerful message and comment. Like, um, I can relate to that as well, and that's I think the whole thing about with when childhood trauma returns again, and it's even when it's just like it starts to come back again, it's enough to like put you way off because you're identifying the situations and um, not necessarily your behaviors, but other people's behavior. The combination of everything, the world, um, what's happening, triggers, and then you're like literally being re-traumatized by the actual trauma, and this is a and it's like being re-traumatized by the cycle starting again. When you think you've gotten past that and it's not going to come back again, and then suddenly you're seeing these patterns emerge and you're getting these triggers and you're getting put in these emotional states, and it's overwhelming. I understand what you're saying. There is hope with that, that you can, when those things happen, you can stop them at a point and you can restrict the amount of control they have. And maybe that's why, like Harmony Seeker's saying, she's just gone, slowed everything down, and just given everything space for a while. Evan Bell says, "Yeah, I just wanted to tell you this. I sensed it from your short message. We might feel the same." Yeah, that's it. Harmony Seeker says, "That is exactly what it's like. Reliving the emotional abuse and neglect only. I don't scream. I just shut down and almost go nonverbal." That's yeah, it's a horrible feeling, isn't it? And the you can also be like so affected by it, like you're literally shaking and shivering, and yeah, you can't get words, you can't speak. Um, your whole prefrontal cortex stops working, and like you can't think properly. Yeah, it's horrible. But Go Fast is here. How you going, Go Fast? Awesome that you could make it. Must be pretty early in the morning there. Sun will be rising soon. Oh, it's a bit late, in a couple of hours. I saw those pictures of the motorcycles you made. They're amazing, and your artwork as well. So pick out like a couple of photos. Like if pick out 4 photos, like one of your the the artwork, the painting, and a couple of your motorcycles, and I'll put them on the um on the page. Go Fast says 1:30 a.m. Just woke up in the workshop. That you must have a comfortable chair or a bed there somewhere. But that's amazing. The workshop you used to have. I hope the workshop you got now is big enough to fit all your tools that you got. It's been a, I think it's been a sort of difficult start to the year for a lot of people, really. So I think the best thing is for us all to give it time, know that we'll get back on track sometime. It's not going to be straight away, but it's going to happen. We're going to get things happening. You know, like with that, what you're saying, harmony seeker, of being sort of, you lose time, don't you? You know, you could spend like a whole week just lost, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, longer. But like, you get better at getting out of those difficult spots, you know, and it doesn't last as long. So that's what I hope for you, and that's what I hope for myself as well. Um, I I had a few weeks where just nothing happened. When I thought I'd bounce back and things would be happening, but they just didn't happen for me. So I'm not going to get too upset about it all. I just push past it all. So I'm thinking about the future, but I'm trying to live in the present. I didn't manage much to get done last week, um, where I planned all this stuff to get done, and then so I'm not going to get angry at myself. I'm just going to start again this week. I've already got the list of things to do. That's the beauty of it. You know, Dad just got home, which is good. Good to hear. So yeah, Go Fast says I'm running on empty, um, by Jonas Webb. It speaks to the inner child. It's given me hope to reframe. I'm going to write that down. That's an awesome suggestion. Oh, you're reading that book at the moment. So running on empty. Jonas Webb. That's good. Good suggestion. I'll check it out. Even though I've got like 15 books that I've got sitting there, I've got to read. I'm always happy to add more. And once I start reading again, it's gonna, I'll be reading 1 or 2 books a week like I was. So I'll even I'll look it up now while I'm here, see how much it is. Although I could I started using the library system. I should keep using that. There you go. So it's $30 to buy. I'll see if I can get it from the library. So, you know, what sort of have people here been planning stuff for the year, like, or you just sort of plan stuff as you go? You know, I've already got a massive list of stuff to do, like heaps of things to do. I've got to catch up on things. Oh, that was Are You Sure said that. I thought that was, I must have, yeah. So you're reading that, Are You Sure? That's awesome. So, um, I'm just looking it up because there's a few different people who've written this books like this name. But I did find the book. But yeah, um, I've got it on the list. So thanks for the suggestion there, are you? It's and it's good. It's good at getting book referrals from people who are reading them and have read them and the stuff. You know, it gives you a reason because you know someone who's referring it. You know, it's if you look up books, you don't know whether they're good or not. You know, and whether you get something out of them. So it's a big thing. But yeah, I did find the book on Google Books, so it's on the list. I should have saved it, but I'll do that later. I've written down. Um, but yeah, it's finding motivation has been a difficult thing. It was difficult last year, and I'm working on it this year. But I'm finding that motivation by I've got all these things I want to do. I've just got to keep working on it. You know, I want to go for a hike with my hammock and camping gear. You know, it's not going to cost me any money. It's just the food. I've already got the tin food, and I wouldn't have to spend any money to do it. So the only thing holding me back is the temperature. It's a bit hot this time of year, but you know, you can always maybe that's a good thing. Climatize to the heat and push myself to like go and do something while it's hot. Should put that on my list. There we go. And I'll put an asterisk next to it. So I've written hiking down next to my list, which I made a few weeks ago. So I'll make sure I do that. I was just thinking about that, like today and yesterday. I was thinking about where all my camping gear is and what to do. Um, just talking about a 2 day hike, you know. Maybe I need to get my fitness up first. Are you sure says, what if you numbered your level of anxiety and limit self sabotage by focusing on lesser stresses? That's a really good, there's a couple of really good things there. I sort of, um, I don't put numbers to my anxiety. I just say low, medium, high, extreme. And so maybe I should put, maybe I should extend that and give it 1 to 10 sort of thing. 10 being extreme, 1 being extremely low. And then I like that too, like limit the self sabotage by focusing on the lesser stresses. That's really good points there, are you sure? That's a really good point. It's like and similar thing with anxiety too, like with, you know, sort of don't don't shut yourself away from doing things, but like focus on things that are going to be less, cause less anxiety, and then try and do them more as well. Build up that strength, but definitely with the self sabotage, you know. I haven't experienced it so much in the last while, but in the last few years it's occurred a few times and it's been very painful. I've stuffed things up majorly from self sabotage, and they were from external stresses, and so I couldn't do anything about that except like confront them. And sadly, I was at a point in my life where I was had been in a stuck in a traumatized state, so I was in the freeze state. So when those stresses were there, I couldn't respond to any of them. So it just it 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 basically pushed me in that direction to self sabotage. You know, whereas I should have just stood my ground and been stronger, and it would have been like a whole different story. My life would be so much better. But like, I'm not dwelling on that stuff now. I do have some really good opportunities this year. So I that's a really good point. Are you sure? Is that because I have so many big things I want to achieve this year, you know, I should actually look at each thing I want to achieve and categorize what are the stresses, and then major and minor stresses, and then how dominant they are, you know. So I mean, you can have major stresses, but they don't. There's only a small chance of them occurring. But then you can have minor stresses that you can have lots of them, and so that compounds. So it's good to actually write it down and look at it on paper and go, well, this is what it looks like, visualize it in that way. Aisha says, I had to put mum's estate settlement aside for the moment. It's a definite 10 on 10. Yeah, that's. Aisha says, I self sabotage, but less now. It is good when you get past that stage where it's not happening as much. It's it really is good. You feel more confident, and my look, I'm not blaming other people, but like my self sabotage is like 50-50. It'd happen from I'd create the problem myself, but then it would also be triggered by external by other people, So I've sort of it's sort of like the anxiety thing. A Shaw says it's a sign of healing with the stars. Yeah, that's what it is. Yeah. And I think I've learned a lot in the last while. Like, each time I've gone through some really difficult stuff in the last few years, I've learned from it. And I've sort of said to myself, I'm not letting this happen again. So that's helped me feel more confident um, that it isn't going to happen again. And so I think with my ideas of like, it's a big risk me trying to start a business for myself. It could make no money, and then I'm stuck without any money, and then it all falls apart. But I'm not gonna worry about that. I'm gonna give it some time to give it a chance, and this, like what you're saying, is helping me to sort of go right. Maybe a bit less. You know, work on the lesser stresses, or the things that are achievable with a less potential for it having these major stresses, and that will give me more confidence because I won't be worrying about this additional thing, which is the self sabotage. Because yeah, starting a business, I'm already spending money each month on it, and you know, haven't even really launched it yet. It's going to be a few months before I can even launch it, so I'm already spending money, and I've got to be careful of where I do. So, but it's an investment. I've got to. I can't avoid not doing those things. So I've got to be comfortable that I give it time to give it a chance, and see what I can do with it. So I'm still pretty tired. Like last chat, I was not falling asleep, but I was like really tired, and I was mumbling a bit, and I was I'm starting to get to that point now, so I don't know if I'll have the stream go too long tonight, just because I'm really exhausted. So, it's been a great chat, though. You know, we did talk about some pretty good topics tonight, and yeah, I appreciate everyone who's been here. Australiana, M and Bells, MJG, Cat, are you sure? Go fast. Thanks for being here tonight, and everyone who's just in the watching the stream. Just thanks for being here as well. Just know that you don't have to join the chat if you're happy just listening. Keep doing that. You know, we appreciate your company as well. But yeah, no, it's probably a good time to, like, in the next couple of minutes, I'll end the stream. Just talking about all these things, you know, and I hope that everything that everyone's going through at the moment eases up and gets better, and that's what I hope for myself. And I do have optimism, you know. So yeah, Harmony Seeker as well. I don't know if I forgot to mention you as well. Thanks for being here, Harmony Seeker. So I was just going through the chat. And I was hoping to say, and Crusoe was here as well. Yeah. So it's good catching up with people. So yeah, go fast. Are you sure? Harmony Seeker, M and Bells, Cat, Crusoe, MJG, and Australiana, and everyone else who's been here, just part of the stream as well. You know. So thank you all, and we'll catch up again soon. You know. Go Fast says cheers. MJG says bye, Luke. Bye all. Go Fast says yeah, man. Cheers. Go Fast says, oh yeah, MJG's got the green heart. That's awesome. Go Fast says, glad you got to see some of those builds, just to give you some context. Yeah, absolutely, man. Like amazing, beautiful works of art. These motorcycles you built, all different styles, like chopper, high tech CNC machined, aluminium, like beast, super beast machine, and that like massive Harley looking one, the orange one. Like how many different, like, you've made motorcycles and one of them's like a two-stroke. It's got these two massive two-stroke exhausts on it. It's like a big displacement two-stroke or something. But yeah, awesome. Pick out your favorite 4 photos and send them to me, and I'll put them on the community page, because I'm sure everyone would love to see the motorcycles that you built. And that's a good thing too, you know. This is a great example of, you know, surviving extreme trauma and like making amazing things, because it's a great surviving and thriving story, you know. So Are You Sure says by MJG. MJG's got the waving hands. Go Fast says, yeah, I'll put together some cool pictures soon that you can share as you like. Awesome. Thank you, Go Fast. I look forward to it. Are you sure says rest well all with the stars? Yeah, it's awesome. I look forward to catching up again. I might do a stream during the week, or if not on the weekend. And I always appreciate the everyone, and the conversation. I really do. It's helping me so much. I've gotten through some really difficult times just with these chats, so I really do appreciate it. And I want to honor the support that everyone's given me by keep progressing and keep healing and all that. So this year, is going to be something amazing, that things will happen. So much love to everyone, and I hope the same for you all, that this year is good things will happen for us all this year. So we'll catch up again soon, eh? It's been really nice tonight. Thank you.